Welcome back to the Project Valor podcast. This is episode 7. We've been gone for a couple of weeks. We just had some things, right? We just had some things that we had to take care of. And
Life happens.
Yeah, life happens. And so I'm excited about getting back here, having a discussion again, because these kind of help keep our minds moving forward for the things that are important, right? Building ourselves physically, building ourselves mentally, building ourselves spiritually. And man, spiritual is a big one right now. I don't know about you, but what I'm seeing amongst people everywhere, especially from people that I would consider in our circle, right? In our greater circle of, not like friend circle, family circle, but like-mindedness circle. Battles, wars, and rumors of wars, kind of like we read in Revelations, right? And I kind of want to talk about that today, and how those battles are going to affect us personally, on the realm of physically, mentally, spiritually, but then also how it's going to affect life as a whole as our world continues to flesh out. And so let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about. So within our circle, there are conflicting, I don't want to say conflicting is not a strong enough word. There's battles raging amongst people that used to be friends that you would consider like-minded with you on subjects like this war in Iran. Some are for it, some are against it. On Trump, some are for Trump, some absolutely hate Trump, some are questioning Trump. Some that formerly supported Trump are now questioning Trump, right? So you got this conflict that's happening. And then one of the biggest conversations is Israel. And, we talked about this. We don't really want to dive into what those arguments are, but the point is that these battles are taking place, and it's tearing a fabric apart that was once pretty strong, and how that's going to affect us going forward.
I think the important thing to understand when we have, these conflicts that are kind of new or just happening right recently is unity. Is we got to maintain the unity, right? We have to understand what is the ultimate end goal. Is it simply to be in war with Iran or not? Is it simply should we support Israel or not? That's not the end goal, right? That's not our end goal. Our end goal, is just to protect, provide for our families, take care of ourselves, and if we can eliminate any type of corruption or evil, let's do that. So let's stay focused on that. I think is very important to stay focused on the end game and not just get caught in these divisive fractions of stuff, because we're people. We're going to disagree.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's just normal.
Yeah.
And if we can't understand that, we can't let that go, like, oh, this person disagrees with me and I'm going to die on this hill, and cool. If it's a hill worth dying on, fantastic. If it's not, reconsider.
Right. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with this, is like, I'm guilty of being in the conversations, right? And just going like mind blowing every day, and then spending an enormous amount of time not in those conversations, but thinking about those conversations, and just using up my own energy. And ultimately at the end of the day, I'm like, man, that is just a complete waste of time. There's so many other things that I could be doing with that energy and putting it towards something that's important, rather than just, how do I counter that argument? How do I counter that comment? How do I, so on and so forth. So I think so many people get caught up in that. And I see a ton of people getting caught up in it. And I see myself. And like we talked about earlier, Project Valor, ultimately, we're building this for us. We're building this for us so that we can improve, and in hopes help other guys do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so that kind of falls into this aspect here. But yeah, so this energy that we are putting, that not just we, but everybody that's putting into these arguments is just, not only is it counterproductive to the argument, because nobody's listening to each other. Right. I mean, that is just completely contrary to what Scripture is kind of teaching us, is that we need to come together in that unity, to have a brotherhood, to be together and spread a specific word, and not have a word that's so divisive at the moment. And I think about that all the time. It's like, wow, okay, what's behind this? And the answer's simple, right? the answer's simple. It's Satan.
It's Satan.
We know it's Satan, and this is what he does, right? He's great at breaking things up and dividing it and being divisive, and I really see that being influential into what's taking place. Some of the stuff strikes at the heart. It really hits you hard, and you have a lot of emotions and feelings about what's going on. One and we didn't talk about this earlier, but I wanted to bring this up. One of the conversations that I had heard, and this one is troublesome to me.
Okay.
They supported the war, and they supported how the war was going in hopes that it would facilitate the coming of the third temple in Israel. But that's not the part that was discerning to me. The part that was discerning to me was that they were hoping this would happen and would continue because it would bring closer to the coming back of Christ and the hopes that they would be raptured up.
Yeah.
And I just went, it shocked my conscience, man. I said, how selfish is that? In my head, I thought that was, and I don't want to go into that. That's my feelings. I'm not saying that that's it. That was my first reaction. It's like you would hope for war and death and destruction in hopes that you got taken up sooner. And I just can't wrap my brain around that.
That's one way of looking at it.
Dude, that one struggled with me. I struggle with that one. I ain't gonna lie. I struggle with that one. And
okay.
and so yeah, that's one of the things that got. I'll be honest, that one took me into the conversation, right? I'm like, holy Toledo. Anyhow, but that's that energy. Now I can't change the way that person thinks, right? That's what they truly believe. That's what they hold truly sincere. And I have to say, okay. I have to say okay, because that's what they hold truly sincere. It would be the same thing as if they came at me as something that I hold truly sincere and just wanted to obliterate me because of it.
Sure.
Right? I'm not the ultimate one that they have to answer to. They're not the ultimate one that I have to answer to. And so, that judgment's going to come. And maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. Maybe I'm right, maybe they're wrong. And so that's the reality of this conversation today is our ability and necessity of letting those things go.
Yeah.
So that we can focus on the more important factors of being prepared for whatever happens, right? So maybe that is what's happening. Maybe this is a facilitation of Christ coming back. Are you ready for that?
Am I ready for that? Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, exactly. So we hope so, right?
Yeah.
What we can be doing is being prepared to say, yes, absolutely, I'm ready for that. And if that's not what's happening, are you ready for that?
If it's not what's happening, then that just means I have more mercy from God to work on myself.
Right. We got more time.
Yeah.
We got more deals. But that also means that we have to face the earthly repercussions of what's going to happen. We were talking about diesel fuel, right? Mm-hmm. Perfect example. Diesel fuel in our town is $6.09 right now. We're coming on $6.09. Ouch, right? I got a diesel truck. I got a diesel tractor. You got a diesel truck.
Yeah.
And, that's painful. And so the economic repercussions of what's coming, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, doesn't matter. It's what's coming, right? How do we prepare for those things? How do we prepare to stay mentally strong when the world around us is really starting to squeeze in, right? Whether you're financially stable or you're not financially stable, whether you are capable of providing for yourself and defending yourself and your family, or you're not. This world is starting to squeeze us a little bit and starting to put some pressure in areas that we may not be quite ready to absorb yet. We're not hardened in where that thing's squeezing at us, and so we have time. And now's the time to get back into that preparedness state, taking the energies that we would spend having these conversations in these battles that are tearing the rest of us apart, and getting ready, whether it's for Jesus to come back or whether they're not quite there yet. And so that's kind of where this discussion I kind of wanted to take us today.
Okay. So I would say, first of all, conversations and disagreements. My opinion, this is my opinion. If it's something that I can affect, something I have, any type of control or change over, it's worth talking about.
Mm.
If I have no effect over it, then I just don't care about it.
Right.
Okay. Even though it affects me, what's going on affects me. Like this war, these gas prices are going to affect me. Do I really have any say? My opinion on what the war should go like. Do I have any say on that? Absolutely not. I don't. So therefore, I'm just going to avoid that conversation.
Yeah.
Personally. And then if I do talk to somebody and we have something that we disagree on, I'm okay with that because there's always common ground that we can agree on. So I always look for that common ground. And because I understand, like, dude, people are going to have their opinions. They're going to have their way of thinking, just like I have my own way of thinking. And it's not easy to change their opinions. And if I'm wanting to change their opinion, if it's worthy of me changing their opinion, great. Maybe I could pursue that. But most of the time, it's not even worth it. Like, okay, cool. Our opinions differ. Let's focus on the common ground, and then maybe once we focus on the common ground, then you can go ahead and affect that opinion. But in sales, I have this this understanding. People won't hear what I have to sell. They won't hear me selling to them unless they first know that I've heard them. So I always start out my sales process by listening. You know, I ask open-ended questions and I try to get them to open up, and I just listen. I just shut up and I listen. And then once they know I've heard them and I can repeat back to them their concerns and their issues and their problems, then I go ahead and give my sales pitch, and it's magical. It works, and they buy. So same thing with our friends.
Mm.
If we're not willing to listen to our friends, that conversation is not going anywhere. So if you want to have a conversation that's productive, we have to listen. That's huge.
Dude, I think that's excellent. It's just you're so spot on with that. And that's what we see is not happening right now, right? There's no listening. You find most people are while you're talking, they're planning their response. Right? They're not listening to you. Yeah. They're not listening to you. And so I think that's an excellent point. And it's a skill to learn, right? It's not something that you just naturally have. Yeah. You have to practice that. Guilty. I'm guilty from time to time of going, when you stop talking, I got something to answer with, right?
Yeah.
And that's it's just, again, that's that betterment of ourselves. That's the betterment of our mental ability to. It's just not all about muscles, right? It's our ability to interact with each other, right? Our survival depends on that, right? Like the likelihood of us living alone as a hermit and not losing our minds within our own minds is pretty challenging thing, right? We need people. We're social people. We're a social animal at this point. We need people in our lives, but and I think conversation and discourse is good when it's productive and people are listening.
Yeah.
Right. Because echo chambers, there's nothing worse than echo chambers. And that's what we're seeing right now. We got this giant circle with, 4 or 5 different echo chambers with a war raging right in the middle where they all touch. And man, I just don't know what that's going to do for our future. It's really, I see some serious detrimental repercussions from it coming, politically, societally, us as communities as well too. All that unifying work that's been done over however long is just kind of being shredded. You're looking at people that you once said you're my friend, and you're like, I don't know if you're my friend anymore, and that's bad. That's tough.
That is.
It's a tough thing, and so you're right, man. Building on that skill of listening is so critically important.
It has to be. Okay, let's look at it from a selfish point of view, okay? Let's say you and I have a disagreement, my opinion, your opinion, and I really want you to think the same way as I do. So if I'm going to have this conversation with you, and it's going to be, and I'm doing it selfishly, okay? Because I want you to think the way I do. In that selfish, I have to listen. I have to go through those steps, just like the example I gave for sales. You have to listen. I have to show you that I care about what you think as well before you will even hear what I think. Mm-hmm. So if we're not going to do that, dude, we're not going to get anywhere. Do you remember that during COVID, that time where there was the 2 parties standing opposite each other on the street, and one was saying, Black Lives Matter. This one, all lives matter.
Oh, down in Prineville.
You remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I could not stand that.
Yeah.
That scene was just absolutely ridiculous to me, right? We got two people just yelling at each other for nothing. Like, there's not a barely a single minority over there. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, I'm not participating in this. So I went across the street and I talked to the enemy, and my goal was just to talk to them and figure out their point of view. So I sat there, I asked questions, and I listened, and we came to a common ground. And the common ground was we both disagree with the government. I'm like, oh, great, we agree on way more than we ever thought we did. All we had to do was shut up and listen.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we were having a good conversation.
Yeah.
Right. One guy, he came over. I tried a conversation with him. Nothing. He wouldn't hear it. Didn't want anything to do with it. He just wanted to stomp on police cars. Cool. That's his thing. You go to you. Hopefully you get arrested and don't do it anymore. I don't know. But that was the conversation. If we wanted to affect something, we have to listen, bro. And it is. So if you're like in that camp where, okay, echo chamber, you just want to hear and you can't hear anybody else's opinion, I challenge you. Shut up and listen. Listen to the other person. Have that conversation. Communicate to them that you hear what they are saying and that you understand their point of view. Then go ahead and give your opinion and see what happens from that. If it's that important to you to have that conversation, see what happens. And my opinion, my suggestion is, if it's not important, then don't even waste your time.
Right. Put that energy somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, and we can practice it in our house. We should practice this in our own house, right?
We
and
better.
that's a challenge,
Yeah.
right? You know, listen to our wives. Our wives listen to us. You know how that goes. And that's good practice at that point. If we can execute it here, we should be able to execute it elsewhere.
Yeah.
I had an encounter the other day with an older gentleman. We were burning a field, a hay field, getting it prepared for the season. And he was a neighbor to the property, and he came out just livid. He's an older guy. He's probably 85, 90 years old. Comes out on his tractor and just starts screaming at us. Just starts, what's going on? Da, da, da. Don't you know this is how Nebraska burnt down? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh boy. And
Wow.
it was a perfect opportunity to try to listen. And I kind of was telling myself, like, okay, just listen, stay calm, because I don't really like people yelling at me. I don't react to that well, right? But I tried to listen and I tried to explain what was going on, and he just was in what we were talking about, just not hearing it, And so instead of getting more, me getting more upset or getting angry with him, I just said, hey, look, this is what we're doing. You know, if you want to talk to the owner, talk to the owner. I got to go back to work, and went back to work. It's, it's kind of that concept of, I was nice, but there wasn't a resolution that I was going to be able to make this guy happy with. And so you just have to, at some point, just end it before it gets worse, right? And that's kind of that example. And I reflect on this, like, could I have handled that differently? Could I have handled that better? Probably. I probably could have handled it in a little bit different manner. But ultimately, I didn't scream and yell at him. There weren't any name callings other than from him. But that's the reality of it. And so this communication, our conversation is evolving here to something more important, to the importance of communication amongst people. And I think that's a critical component to learn and look and listen to. So yeah, these are really important facts of, a step forward. Like, we can address problems all the time, but if we're not offering up some solutions to go along with it, then we're just kind of part of the problem, right? So
yeah, it's easy to point out, like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, it's easy for that, right?
Yeah.
But to actually give a valid solution,
yeah,
and like work towards that, yeah, that's another level right there.
Right. And we should always look at that. I mean, like I said, it's really easy to be a complainer, but it's really easy to be a complainer and point those out and not have any answer for it.
That's why everybody hates the quality control guys at job sites, right? All they do is point out everything bad. And they have no responsibilities to fix it.
It's just wrong. Yeah. This is just wrong. Yeah. Good point, man. That's an excellent point. Excellent point. So yeah. So these are those conflicts that we're kind of been talking about. These battles that are raging around us, but they also rage in us. Right. They also rage in us as well, too. I was writing down some notes here, talking about spiritual battles, talking about some personal mental battles that come in, and then physical battles. And they all kind of tie together. Right. They all kind of tie together. we're talking about the world crushing in around us. Well, that can be hard on our mental psyche, on our mental ability to process and stay in a good mood, stay in a positive direction. For me personally, it can wear on you, and that takes its toll on my ability to train my body. Like
Yeah.
there's like perfect example this morning, man. I just was not having it. It was just not happening. Doing push-ups, doing ab workouts, and I'm just not having it. It's just not going the way I expect it to go, the way that it always goes. And so I just stop and I take a deep breath and I'm like, dude, what is going on here? Right. Just and try to talk to myself. It's like, what's going on? And it's a reality that there's just a lot going on right now. And so my brain is drifting off. I'm not focused on this aspect right now. It's like it's not even on the top 3 of the task list that is rolling in my brain. And so I stopped and I took a deep breath and I said a little prayer and then I got back after it just to get through it, right? And so that's the aspect that mental battle that's going on can roll off into that, and it can roll into your spiritual world as well too. We talked a little bit about challenging yourself and being challenged by the Scripture. Finding things that you go, really? Is that really how it goes? And then starting to do that research and that dive back into it to try to get a better understanding.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who doesn't understand something in the Bible, like absolutely, you should dive in, figure it out.
Yeah.
Prove it that the Bible is wrong. Like take it from that point of view. I don't care.
Dude, that's a good point. Prove it, or at least just. So I like to read King James because it challenges me to slow down and understand, even if I have to break the words down, even if I have to go and take that word and go get the definition, right? So that I understand what I'm reading. It challenges me to really understand what each paragraph says.
And for those of you that don't know, King James Version has a lot of old English, these and thous and thys.
Yeah, and it's challenging. It really is challenging to go, what did I just read? And, it forces you to kind of go back and read it again and try to get a better understanding.
Awesome.
And I will say I cheat a little bit. What I have found, and this is a hack. I mean, honestly, this has been helpful. I read the Bible on my phone, and if there's a paragraph or a section that I don't understand, I can copy and paste it, and I paste it into it sounds crazy, but the AI deal, and it actually pulls up a lot of information that kind of helps in the way that we speak to explain what it's talking about. And I'm like, okay, now that doesn't mean that it's absolutely correct. It just helps me to understand, to make sure that what I read and what I thought that I read is what I actually read, in terms. And if it's not, it's like, oh, wait a second. Okay. I didn't catch that, so it's a tool. There is a tool there that is important.
An app I can recommend to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the Blue Letter Bible.
Yeah.
It's another app you can get.
Okay.
But in that, you can pull up that passage, and it'll have multiple commentaries from multiple different people's sources. That you can read through those commentaries, read what they say, and get a much better understanding as to what that's talking about.
Now, I don't know where AI pulls its information
I don't know
from.
either.
Right.
And sometimes I've heard it can make up stuff too.
Maybe. It very well could.
I'd rather just go to that source. I use it often, and I not always, but I often double check my pastor when he's up preaching. And I'll just like, okay, I've never heard of that before, and I'll just pull up Blue Letter and see.
Blue Letter. I'll check it out.
It'll give you some more.
It's good to have
the words.
Good to have tools. It's good to have
definitely
tools,
a good
right?
tool. Yep.
Especially when you don't understand what you just read. Yeah. Right. And to get a different opinion. Like one of the words, it was liberty. Liberty kept popping up in the Scripture. And
that word is very meaningful to you.
It's very meaningful to me. And so I wanted to know what obviously all of our Bibles are translated. Right. And so that means that somebody sat down and wrote what they thought that it meant, which is also a challenge in my own mind. It's like, God, am I really reading what was actually written the first time? Right. How much is this different? Telephone game, right? We play the telephone game. How much over time has it changed?
I have a source for you on that one as well.
Okay. So where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought.
Trusting the interpretation.
Oh, the interpretation as far as that goes. So liberty was, it was the freedom that we gained through the through the sacrifice, that our sins can be forgiven. And I'm like, oh wow, man, that's powerful. That's so powerful. That's such a powerful addition, a definition of that word. And so, I look at that word completely differently now. And it's true. It's very true. Because we are at liberty to sin, right? We have free
Yep.
agency from God to choose what we are actually going to do,
We do.
right? We are free agents to choose right versus wrong, right? And when we choose right, that liberty, it just swells up inside of you. You're like, hey, this is a beautiful thing. I'm free to choose this path. I'm free to choose. And we all feel good when we make those choices, when we make the right choices. And we all feel like crap when we make a wrong choice, right? When we do the wrong thing. And that's a beautiful term of liberty. I mean, liberty, in definition, like we talked about constitutionally wise, was the ability to live my life and make the choices for my own life as long as they don't affect somebody else to do the same. Right. And when you think about those two definitions, they're pretty darn close.
And they
They're
are.
pretty darn
And in the
close.
Bible, it has the 10 Commandments, which can be summed up in this one commandment is love your neighbor.
Exactly. I think that's awesome. When I read that, I loved that. I thought that was so awesome.
Good.
What are the two most important things? Right? Love God and love your neighbor.
Yep.
And it sums up all of them. I thought
That's
that was to me, that's one of my favorite parts of the Bible.
Awesome.
I'm like, that is so cool. That is so, and it's so easy. So if you ever get lost in, is this right? Is it wrong? All you got to do is ask that question, right? Is this me loving my neighbor?
Exactly.
Right? Am I hurting somebody in the process?
Right.
Is this choice going to hurt somebody?
Right. Yeah. Should I start a distillery? No, because man, as much as I might want to, and then think that it might be a good business decision, no, that people are going to abuse my product, and that's something I don't want to have happen. So, right.
There you go. So yeah, man. So our decisions, our liberty, they all wrap up in these battles. They wrap up in our biblical battles that we rage with. They wrap up, like we said, good works versus selfish hopes and intents.
So I wanted to bring up a couple verses on that. So first verse I wanted to bring up was in 1 John chapter 5. And I just wanted to... Okay, so 1 John chapter 5, verse 19, it says, we know that we are from God, and the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. Okay, so first of all, there's scripture that says the evil one has power. Okay, and it's in this world. So we are absolutely at spiritual warfare. Like it's not a physical warfare. We don't see Satan. We don't see it. We see it through people who are evil, but we don't see Satan himself, and we don't see his demons. It's a spiritual battle. It's up here. Okay. That war you're fighting to finish your push-ups and sit-ups. I mean, that's a war. That's a battle that you're having. Okay. Then I want to go into Philippians chapter 4. Okay. Starting in verse 8. It says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Okay? It just listed a whole bunch of stuff, and it says, this is the type of stuff that you should think about. Okay? The Bible literally tells you, think about these things.
Yeah.
Like, this should be what you do. So put your mind. So if you're struggling with like these negative thoughts, to go to that passage, Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, start reading through that, and like it doesn't tell you exactly what to think about. It says whatever is true.
Right.
What's true? Okay. Whatever is honorable. Okay, what kind of stuff can I think about that's honorable? Whatever is excellent. And you just start thinking about those things that are excellent, those things that are true. And fill your mind with those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, it talks about Thanksgiving as well. So thank God. Anytime I feel depressed or down, I always try to remind myself to thank God for everything that I have in my life.
What's positive going on right now? What are the good things that are happening?
Yeah. Fill myself up with all that stuff, and then it just changes my whole demeanor.
Yeah.
Okay. I go from depressed to be like, oh, okay, cool. Now I'm in this thankful state, and I'm joyful. Yeah. So
tones change, your mind changes, that energy changes, right? As far as that goes, you start working in a positive direction.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean these are all critical components of preparedness, right? Because you're not going to get yourself, your body prepared. You're not going to get your spirit prepared if you can't wrap your brain around the battle that's in front of you, right?
True.
And actually focus on that on that conflict and overcoming whatever that is, that's those hurdles that are in front of you,
Yeah.
that evil that's in front of you that's pushing you to do whatever it is,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's it. And if we can't prepare our spirit and our mind and our body, we certainly aren't going to be preparing our home and our family for those same conflicts.
No.
Yeah.
If we're
So
just dwelling on something that we can't have any change over,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, our families are being neglected at that
Right. I
point.
mean, think about it. The first day, how things are going on. I said, man, I feel like we're drifting. Right. There you go. Okay, man. I got to address that. I got to address that, the feel that I'm
Right.
drifting right now. Right. That they were just kind of sitting idle. Like, okay, well, you see it. So now it's time to engage and get after it. Figure out what's going to flip that up. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where the physical fitness part of me kicks in, is when I feel that, when I feel like I'm just sitting idle, it's like, okay, well, I can spend this time making myself stronger right now, making
Mhm.
myself better. And you were talking about that thing. It's like, hey, we need to get some more focus into the physical fitness side of things, right? That might be a great Kickstarter to really get other people involved in this as well too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, you feeling like you're drifting, you feeling like you're sitting idle, you feel like, you're just going with the flow. Perfect time to refocus some energy into yourself.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that physical exercise releases endorphins, and that also affects your mood and
Mhm.
yeah, your disposition. So if you are depressed, go work out. That is effective.
100%.
Absolutely,
If you're angry, take it out on the weights, baby. Take it out on the weights,
dude.
just go smash some iron around and just
Yep.
and just get after it as far as that goes. And you're going to walk out feeling better because you did something positive, right? You
Yeah.
improved yourself. You
Yeah.
improved yourself. You didn't dwell on a negative. You didn't dwell on whatever that is, whatever
Mhm.
was going on. You put that energy to something, that negative energy, and turn it into a positive.
Yeah. And lifting weights and working out is a positive. You are improving who you are as a person,
Mhm.
right? You're improving your physical self. And when you just said that, I was like, I had the immediate thought, okay, a farmer is going to install a fence. He's going to feel good about that, and he's working hard for that. I live in town. I don't have a fence to install. I go to the gym. I lift weights. So that's my version of being a farmer, and I feel good about that because I did something positive for
Yeah.
my body, right?
Yeah, you're growing something good. You're growing,
Yeah.
right? So you are a farmer. You're just a body farmer,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. So yeah, man, what else we want to hit on here? Something else I had written down is just like focus on your mental toughness. Get control of your
Mental
brain.
toughness. Yeah.
Get control of your thoughts. Um, some of these classes I've been talking on is that our brain's really only capable of thinking about one thing at a time. Like you can really only focus on one thing, which is true. Try to think about two things at a time, and you
I
really
don't
can't.
know what you're talking about. I can think of like 4 or 5 things at a time.
Focus, though. Things are rambling, but what can you actually focus on?
Oh, yeah.
What can you
Okay.
actually put your energy, your mental energy into, as far as that goes?
When I find
Um,
someone thing I want to focus on, yeah, I am the most focused person
yeah,
ever.
I'm with
But
you. I'll was like, okay, I'm going to focus on this, and then the next day I'm like, whoa, I'm over here in the weeds. Oh, wait, I'm over here in the weeds. So my
oh yeah,
walks in the morning. That's why walking in the dark. I love walking in the dark because that visual stimulation is gone because it's blackout, and
yeah,
I can just kind of like, okay, I try to make it a point of going, what's my day look like? What's my week look like? Or what's today look like? What's tomorrow look like? What's the week look like? And then after I've set that established in my mind, then I might think about something else. Just depends on how long the walk is at that point.
okay,
Just use that time to kind of channel that energy into a structured thought, so that I have something to achieve during the week.
got it.
Right? Goals are important. Setting goals are important. Um, and that's all part of that mental toughness kind of conversation that you have. We drift when our mind drifts, when we can't stay focused on the things that we want to do and that we need to do, and we get stuck in that drift or other thoughts and stuff like that. That's when the non-completion factors of our life step in,
Yeah,
and we can overcome that. And again, it's just like learning to listen. You can learn to overcome these things, and mental toughness is a real component.
I've
It's a real
actually
skill that you can learn.
I've been working on that myself
Yeah.
personally. I'm not great at it yet, but it's something I'm working on. One thing I've been trying to do is when my mind starts to drift, when I'm like over whatever task it is I'm doing for work, I'm just over it. I'll try to do like 20 squats or 20 push-ups, and then try to reset back in there. What I try not to do, what I sometimes often do, is social media.
Yeah.
I'll just take a quick break and scroll, and
Yeah.
then in a
Lost
rabbit
for
hole,
30 minutes, right?
Yeah. So if I can remember, because a lot of times I just don't remember, I just immediately go to the scrolling. But if I remember to do my push-ups, and then boom, get
Love
that
it.
little physical exercise, little breathing in, and then head back into it, and I can usually finish.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it. I'm not good at it yet.
One thing that I've installed is a self-punishment. And so, and I get mad at my phone because I think it's a liar, but but it'll tell you how much time you spend on your phone.
Yeah, I just don't look at it.
Right. And so I set a goal. If it exceeds a certain amount of time,
Okay.
I'm going to do push-ups for every minute that it's over it.
Dang,
Yeah.
dude. Is that why you're looking so swole?
I don't know, dude, but you know, that means I'm watching a lot of too much of my phone at that point. And I feel like that all the time. One of the things I've been doing also is first thing in the morning, I don't touch my phone until it's time to read the Bible. Yeah. And the only reason I read the Bible on my phone is because my eyes are so bad, I can make it bigger and actually read it.
Got it.
So that's because I really do enjoy reading it out of the book and feeling the pages. I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
But I don't like walking away with a headache because I can't see it. Right. And so I use it because I can make I'm 50, man, and things are happening, right? Okay, it happens when we get a little bit older, and I'm too stubborn to go to the eye doctor. So I just can't give in to that yet. I'll get there. I'll get there. One of these days when I can't see it all, I'll go to the eye doctor. But I use that. So I don't touch my phone until it's time to read the Bible. And then I don't touch it again until it goes into my pocket and the day starts. So I try to I'm really trying hard to stay off of social media, specifically in the morning. You know, get home, it happens. At lunch, it happens. And, you know, but if we can cut our time off on, you know, in incremental points during the day, we're doing better. We're improving ourselves.
Yeah, sure.
Because that is a mind suck. It's an absolute mind suck.
It's a waste of time. Dude. Yeah.
It's just so like those, it's just like these fights.
Yeah.
Right. It's absolute waste. And that's where most of them happen. So, I mean, you get off of social media and you're not even engaged in these anymore.
Very true.
And you're a lot happier, in my opinion. So,
and make no mistake, dude, Satan has power over the world, and social media is literally designed and engineered for us to consume our time looking at it. Like, that's, for whatever reason, that's their agenda, and that's what they want from us, is our time wasted looking at that.
100%. Our attention sucked into those things.
So yeah, once you realize that,
it's good at it. It is really good at it. They're very successful at what they're attempting to do. Yeah. So we just have to acknowledge it and overcome it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Step one is acknowledge.
What else you got, man? You got anything you want to hit on?
You had mentioned, what was the last thing you mentioned? You just I know we just got done talking about it, but forgive me.
Just you know, the mental toughness aspect is what we were hitting on. Mental toughness and self-discipline to control
that's
ourselves.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
On that topic was stoicism. You know, when you hear mental toughness and controlling your thoughts, stoicism always comes into mind, and that's kind of a buzzword. But dude, there's some value to stoicism, and I truly do believe that there's value to withholding your emotions and keeping those in check. So yeah, practice that. Like, I know for me, there's sometimes where my emotions are not in check, and then there's other times where they're like so in check, it's like, how did you not respond to that, Jeremiah? So it depends. For me, it depends on what part of life we're talking about, but it's very valuable to not get caught up in that echo chamber that you were talking about, that worthless time suck, that letting somebody rage bait you. There's another term.
Rage bait. Yeah. Okay.
Not letting somebody rage bait you. It's like, okay, cool. Is it worth my time? Is it not? And there's some value to that.
There's some real value. And it's a skill that you can learn. It's a skill that you can develop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree.
And we have some of that in our course as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's well worth its time and energy. But you're going to appreciate it. You're going to appreciate it yourself, right? And other people are going to appreciate it too. You know, if you're not screaming and yelling at every little thing, and dude, guilty as can be in the past, and it's one of those things that I'm a passionate dude. I'm passionate about us. I'm passionate about our country. I'm passionate about the future for our children. And at times, man, you can let that passion just take control and turn into rage. And again, why we built Project Valor was to improve ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. So
Was to improve
yeah.
ourselves and then take you guys with us.
Yeah, for sure. So open the door to a journey with us. So
yeah.
Cool, man. All right. I think that's a good wrap for today,
okay.
huh? Yeah.
I like it. Yep.
So let's just remind everybody that, you can join with us on our website, pvstrong.net. You can go on there. We got some upcoming classes that are coming on, the firearms class for beginners here in Central Oregon. You can sign up for that. You can read more about what Project Valor is all about. When you're ready to rock, you can dive into our app. Right now, it's 100% free. It won't be for long. I can promise you that. It's just not going to be for long. We're going to get that
take advantage of that.
Yeah, take advantage of that. pvstrong.live. .live. You're going to get in there. There's all kinds of tools. There's just the tools that you need that we've been talking about to make yourself better mentally, physically, spiritually. Dive into it. Take a look. There's classes. There's biblical readings that you put on that are really engaging.
And I added some commentaries recently too.
Oh, nice.
To some of it, just
nice.
In case anybody's new and never read it before, they want to know what they're reading. I mean, it's just my commentary. I challenge you to go listen to other people's commentary. But
yeah, it's a starting point.
It's there to help you.
It's a starting point, and it's great. So it's really good. So pvstrong.live is the app. And then if you like our merch and you want to help support what we got going on, projectvalorstore.live.
There you go.
projectvalorstore.live, all one word. We got sweatshirts, we got hats, we got t-shirts, we got sweatpants, coffee cups, anything and everything that you want out there that would be a show of support. Go get that stuff picked up, and we appreciate all your support. Other than that, I think we're ready to wrap it up for the week, and we'll be back next week.
Okay.
Sound good?
We'll be back next week.
All right, man.
Cool.
Good deal. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Like and share if you can. Help us get this word out, and God bless.